بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا صدق الله العظيم.
Like what the schedule for this program is that we would have welcome address by our colleague Jehanzeb Mian. Then I would make a presentation. I just made few slides. Actually, we know what's going on back there because our families are directly affected by what's happening there. But we want to show here the participants, and especially our MPs and our politicians to look into this and get, because in the media it's not getting that much attention what we would expect. So for that I'm going to have this 15-20 minutes presentation, and after that we are going to have our MPs present with us. Salma Taulajan, who is now a senator, and it's an unfortunate, even we didn't want her to, because she's also representing our community as well as the Conservative Party. So we wanted something in the future to have a nice, well thought out program for her achieving this thing. But it was just this tragedy happens, and so she knows what's going on back there because she's from this community. But anyhow, we are thankful that she would be with us talking about this tragedy. Then we have Andrew Kania told us that he would be coming. Kuldeep Kolar, MPP, he also is, I think, on his way. Navdeep Benis is here, and Ruby Dal also, I think. And just to make it clear that it's not a political gathering, we, I think, contacted a lot of MPs, we wanted, and we just don't want to make a show of this. We just want to have this thing to the media and to the politicians to hear this thing, so that they could just properly, the Canadian government properly respond to this this tragedy. So that was the only idea of this get together and forming this HEART, what we call Human Emergency Aid and Rehabilitation Trust. And after that, as the month of Ramadan, we will be our fast opening at 8:10, probably around that time. And then that 1 hour would be for the dinner and the iftar. And then we have our guest speaker as Dr. Abdullah Idris. He would be making a speech. So that's the overall program of this event.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen and dear friends, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome all of you to this fundraising dinner event of our organization, Human Emergency Aid and Rehabilitation Trust, HEART. I have been honored and privileged by the organizing committee to present this welcome address. I am confident that by now every one of us is fully aware of the consequences and brutality of the uncontrolled and unprecedented floods that struck the entire landscape of Pakistan. This flood is still playing havoc with the life of its unfortunate people from the last 3 weeks. Yet no end of this tragedy is in sight at the moment. Every day, new villages and towns are inundated, and people are on the run from point A to point B and so forth. Most of you will recognize that we gathered last year in June 2009 for a similar cause of yet another kind of tragedy. It is so unfortunate that we gather on the eve of such horrible tragic events. On that occasion, we were concerned about safety of the direly needed emergency relief efforts for about 2 million people who became refugees in their own homeland just within a 1 week time and were called IDPs or internally displaced persons. This time, our worries are far greater and of bigger dimension. This time, about 20 million people are suffering from the destruction brought by the recent floods. The victims of this flood also include people who were earlier made homeless due to hostilities in the area. Within the span of a year, these unfortunate people are again without shelter. Last year, their suffering were due to man-made circumstances, but this time due to a natural calamity. On that earlier occasion, there were a lot of people to embrace them and provide comfort, but this time there are a few number of people who can afford assistance, as everyone is licking his own wounds. According to International Displacement Monitoring Center (IDMC), still there are approximately 1,250,000 IDPs in Pakistan. Thousands of our kinsmen are in dire state, and the diaspora cannot remain indifferent to their plight. There is a dire need of providing clean drinking water, food, medicine, and shelter. And we now face the threat of the outburst of diseases like malaria, cholera, and diarrhea. The infrastructure of this underdeveloped country has been badly damaged, uprooted, and rehabilitation in next 20 years at the moment look a far cry. This monumental humanitarian crisis has apparently no parallel in history. According to UN estimates, the damages to property is more than the collective damages from the 3 major disasters seen by the international community in the recent past. United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs estimates that the flood has affected 15 to 20 million people. Elizabeth Byers of the UN Office for the Coordination of the Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, told a news conference in Geneva the other day, and I quote, "The situation is still unfolding. In some area, the flood waters are receding to reveal the utter destruction left behind, while in other areas, the flood waters continue to rise, destroying homes, villages, and crops." Unquote. The consequences of the flooding in Pakistan, poorest and most vulnerable people, are very serious. It's so unfortunate that the affliction and predicaments brought on the people of Pakistan did not receive and is not receiving the kind of attention from media and donor agency as it deserves. The dreadful saga of nearly 20 million lives continue even at this moment when we are gathering for this fundraising event. Human suffering continue on significant scale, and it is a race against time. UN agencies and aid groups say the response from the international community is sluggish, warning of a second wave of death from diseases, with at least 6 million now dependent on humanitarian assistance to survive. The real question is whether enough people outside Pakistan know about the crisis and care to do something about it or not. So we urge the Canadian government on behalf of this community that there is only 33 million funding announcement by the government, which is not sufficient. There is a 45% still shortfall in that funding, and we urge the government to come to the help of the Pakistani people as they deserve. Because this tragedy, the destruction, is much more than the combined tragedy by the 3 earlier disasters the international community has faced in the recent time. So again, I'm asking all of our these audience to take up this issue with the government, with their MPs, and with the Premier to do something for these unfortunate people. It should be a purely humanitarian. This should not be intertwined with the politics. It looks like to the people of Pakistan and to the Pakistani community that perhaps there might be some political connotation to this aid by the international community. Why the people of Pakistan are suffering so heavily and still the international community is not coming up. So I urge upon the international community that please come up and help those people. Thanks very much.
So just to give you an idea of what's going on back there in, like it's from north and south. So the floods, this is a map I got from BBC website. So they are just showing the severely affected areas and moderately affected areas. So it all starts from the north. Like this is actually up here. The famous Swat Valley and Bir districts, that from there, this devastation and this catastrophe started. And then it washed away all the infrastructure up there. Personally, I belong to the Swat Valley. So I know what's going on there, because initially there was no contact with my families. The telephone lines were completely down. But after 4 or 5 days after, we heard that they were saved, but the upper areas of this district, it's completely cut off. The roads are washed away. And I have some pictures that you will see yourself, that what's going on back there. And then that water rushed down, and then it hit the famous Nowshera city, which is close to Peshawar. And it just flooded that city. And there are some pictures there that it's just totally mind-blowing. And then it hits all down, like it's the south part of the Sindh. So on the way it hits Punjab, and it flooded Sindh. So now it's everywhere. The water is everywhere. And it's just not only confined to. So this is one of the pictures of Swat Valley. This is the famous Swat River. It was a famous tourist town, Madian. It got hit there. These are on the far side. There were all the hotels and like shops and markets. And it was a famous tourist resort. And it now all got hit by, this was the bridge, like it was built from the British time. And now it's all in ruins. It's completely washed everything. So this is just showing that how the people are disparate. This is like a highway, and everything is flooded. There's nothing left there. This is the famous Nowshera city, which is just flooded. We have some of our friends, and even Jehanzeb Mian, he belongs to this Nowshera town. And he actually told us and our other friend, Shakeel Abbas, that what happened to their houses and their family house and their relatives. So just imagine that almost 3-story houses are completely flooded in the water. And there are a lot of casualties, there are certain areas which are still cut off, and we are not sure that what's happening there, what happened, and what's happening there. Now it's showing a picture from Punjab. It's Multan, and it's all like you can see just water and water everywhere. It just flooded, like it's huge. Then it went down to the Sindh. There was one of the shots I got from one of the pictures that people are so desperate. They're just sitting on the rooftop and waiting for the army helicopter to just evacuate them. And they are just desperate. They family just want to save their kids. They are not for their own safety. They just want to at least their kids survive. And they are pushing those kids to the army rescue team. And this was just an overview that millions are left destitute with no water, nothing. Like you can hear this or read this in the media, and we have personal examples that we have friends and their families got one of the friends' family in Charsada. They were sitting on the roof floor for 3 days, and they had just only 1 bottle of water. And finally, they were completely dehydrated. And on the 3rd day, they were lucky that they had a relative in Pakistan Army, and their helicopter got evacuated them. Otherwise, the whole family would have died there. They spent those 3 days with just only 1 bottle of water. So there are thousands of examples. And that's what the UN that itself said, that it's nobody in the beginning, the first few days, no one has no idea that what's going on there, because it was not completely on the media screen. And now the UN told us that it is the worst disaster, that it's combined from the tsunami, the Haiti earthquake, and the Kashmir earthquake in Pakistan in 2005. The combined effect is less than what's going on right now. It's affected almost 20 million people in Pakistan.